Let's welcome in our guest. We have Siddharth Sedani of Anand Rathi, Mr. V.K. Sharma of HDFC Securities, Manas Jaiswal, and Jay Thakur joining us this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Mr. Sharma. What are your top picks?
My topic in this market is obviously a segment which will do well and where there is less amount of risk going forward because of the fact that the company has posted good number of sales and the prices is high. So we don't know the quantity which the company has sold. So the company in question is Moil India. We like this company primarily because the demand for the product is good, and internationally the prices have seen very high prices. In fact, prices have gone up by almost 40% in the last quarter. If I were to look at September end quarter, the manganese ore, which sold at around 9,000 odd crores, sold at 11,000 odd crores in the month of October, 14,000 plus crores in the month of November, and 19,000 crores in the month of December. These are the prices the company has charged. So obviously, we believe that the 6 rupees earning per share which the company has posted in the first half, I think the company will now be able to do something like 17 rupees in the second half. That means overall we are looking at an EPS of around 23. So that is almost 4 times the earnings that we have seen so far in the first half. So that makes it a strong buy, and we are accumulating this stock. I think we have a target around 420 odd, which could be seen in the next 6 months or so, or maybe at the most a year.
Mr. Sharma, you also like Power Grid?
See, the stress at this point of time is to fix on those areas which are not going to be impacted by the demonetization and whatever the slowdown in the economy has been. So this is essentially a factor of this. So Moil India was a part of that. The second in the series is Power Grid, which has nothing to do with demonetization, and I think the growth here is basically around 15% or so in the current quarter, and it quotes at a good amount of value. I think the price by book, it quotes at around 1.7 at a price of 180. I think a give and take a price of rupees 20 rupees on the lower side, and you could end up with around 20% gains in the year from the current levels. So this is a second stock which we like, primarily based on the current theme where there is no certainty about the next quarterly results.
Jay, what are your picks and what are the targets?
Well, I have 3 buy recommendations. The first one is on L&T Finance. I've got a buy recommendation for a target of 87.50 and 91.50 with a stop loss of 80.50. The second buy recommendation I have is on M&M Finance. One can buy this for a target of 285 with a stop loss of 239. And the third buy recommendation is on Arvind. One can buy this for a target of 349 with a stop loss of 324. Now, for all of this, I've got the same logic behind the buy recommendation is that all of these stocks have declined in a 5-wave declining structure, and all of them have formed an ending diagonal pattern, which clearly indicates that something on the lower side has ended, at least for the short term. So once this 5-wave declining structure is over with this kind of an ending diagonal pattern, Anisha, the probability of a bounce really increases. So I'm expecting minimum, say around 38% of a retracement of this entire fall on for all of these 3 stocks. So I think it's a very high probability recommendations, and I think the risk reward for all these 3 stocks are absolutely in favor of the bulls.
Manas, what are your calls? 2 buy calls and 1 sell name?
Yeah, I have 2 buy calls and 1 sell call. First is a buy call on Bharat Financials, where the stock witnessed good buying interest at lower levels. Yesterday, it has made a bullish engulfing pattern on the daily chart. So, a possibility is high that we may see a further up move in Bharat Financial. The stock can test 565. So, one can buy it with a stop loss of 498. Second is a buy call on UPL, where the stock has taken support near to 200-day moving average, and oscillators are showing positive crossover. So now I think we may see a reaction. Stock can test 655. So one can buy it with a stop loss of 625. And last one is a sell call on TVS Motors, where stock has broken its 100-day moving average. The structure is weak and possibility is high that stock can test its 200-day moving average now. So you can set the target of 335 and you can sell it, keep the stop loss above 359.
Siddharth, your calls?
Well, the first idea would be SH Kelkar, as we know that it is into the flavors and fragrance segment. It is one of the leader in the flavors and fragrance segment with the fourth largest player, and we're having a 12% market share in India. Actually, company is aspiring to be the leader in the international as well as domestic market. Having said that, company is doing fabulously well if you look at the historical performances, and 2016 was the listing year for SH Kelkar. It is being a niche segment altogether. So with that, what we believe is the current utilization level is around 45%, and we expect the profitability to increase and improve with the utilization improvement. One thing to note out is if 15% of the utilization level is increased by the company, we may see a jump of around 100% in terms of revenue is concerned. So company has a great multiplier with themselves, giving a 30 times FY18 valuation. We eye a target of 382. The second idea, what we believe is CCL products, again into the coffee processing segment. What we believe is they have all the plants fully operational. Indian plant is full capacity. Vietnam will be full capacity in FY17. Although the last quarterly results were little subdued on the back of some refurbishment activities going on in the Vietnam as well as Indian plant. So they've spent around 15 odd crores for this a little bit of a refurbishment and expansion. Along with that, what we believe is management's commentary of 12 to 15% volume growth in next 2 years and sustainability of 15% PAT growth for FY17 and 18. So we are quite confident that this company seems very promising with a target of 340.
All right, so those are the top picks of our guest. In pre-open, the markets are trading in the green. The Nifty is up 14 points. Let's take it to a few stocks that are in focus on news developments. JSW Energy's board has approved fundraising to the tune of 750 crore rupees. They will do this by the issue of non-convertible debentures. So debt for JSW Energy will go up. Then we have Bharat Financial. The stock saw a big move a day earlier. Morgan Stanley has purchased 1.1% stake via open market purchase, and now its stake in the company has gone up to 7.86% as on December 2nd. Then we have Kerala Healthcare. Kerala Healthcare has received a warning letter for its discovery arm from the US drugs regulator. The warning letter is over a promotional video. The warning letter has been issued over misbranding of its drug, Saroglitazar. So it has received a warning letter for a promotional video. Bajaj Auto is looking to hike prices on the 1st of January next year. IOC has dispatched the first batch of BS6 fuel for testing. So this is quite important because a lot has been spoken about pollution levels, but the readiness of oil refiners and marketing companies to come out with cleaner fuels seems to be getting better. Then we have mid-cap stocks. JK Tyre's board will meet to consider fundraising via securities. We've got Sunil High-Tech. Its JV has won an EPC road project in Andhra Pradesh, which is worth 434 crore rupees. Then we have Mandana Retail, a new listing which has been buzzing a lot. It has been added to B Group, and the circuit filter has been revised to 20%. We've got some developments on e-clerks as well. The buyback is done, and now promoter shareholding post the buyback is at 50.4%. Dhanuka Agritech's board will meet on Jan 3rd to approve conditions of a buyback. And we've got Akzo Nobel. It has inaugurated its specialty coatings facility in Noida. This is, of course, a paints company.
Mr. Sharma, what do you expect of the move that we saw yesterday? What do you make of it, as well as what's the sort of opening that you expect today?
I think the SGX is clearly indicating that we are going to open higher, and the fact that the call writing has taken place yesterday at around a level of 8150. So the resistance that you are talking about, 8133, I think that is a possibility on the higher side. Considering the fact that tomorrow we have this settlement, I don't see the index going beyond this level. However, for those people who are thinking that missed the bus, I think it's slightly late now. So it is better to ensure that the Nifty closes above a level of 8270. Whenever that happens, then probably you can enter the markets. Otherwise, I still feel that going back to the fact that the slowdown in the economy is going to be felt more in the fourth quarter of this year, that is January, March, and still you could find some kind of a happening in the first quarter of next financial year. So while the Q3 numbers that will come in for the October-December quarter, those numbers could be higher than what people expect, primarily because many people have booked sales larger than what they have actually done, just to ensure that the currency, to adjust the currency, which could mean that the GDP could be slightly higher than market expectations. But I believe that after that, the GDP numbers will fall off sharply. So going by that, I think any rally is to be used for lightening the commitments.
As far as what market is trying to price in is concerned, it's the weak Q4 numbers and probably Q1 numbers that market is trying to price in, which is difficult to predict.
First and foremost, this is a kind of an exercise at which scale it has happened. There are no economists who have this kind of an experience where such a thing has happened. So therefore, even to take those economists who are saying that the Indian GDP will grow, will degrow, and will see a contraction in first quarter of next year, we need to understand that the same set of economists had said that Mr. Trump will not come and Hillary will be the winner of this race. So these kind of things, I don't think anybody is capable of doing that. But going just by the fact that the unemployment number has fallen off sharply, it's gone up rather. The 5% unemployment rate which was seen before 8th of November, that has risen to around 7%. That clearly indicates that there is problem with the economy. So with this, my sense, and the fact that the dollar is stronger, crude is going higher, that means the days of where the financial ministry could breathe easy because of the the elbow room it had in terms of the lower crude are over. So we are looking at an economy which will more prone to now.
Right, Mr. Sharma, I'll just come back to you. Markets have opened. Hindalco is up around a rupee or so, 156. Nifty around the 8,048 mark rather. That's exactly what SGX Nifty was indicating. ICICI Bank 45 paisa higher. Axis Bank up about a rupee. Reliance is up 0.25%. Bank of Baroda is up 0.5%, 150, closer to 151. Sun Pharma at 622 rupees. Tata Steel is 393. Tata Motors is also looking slightly into the green. Bharti Airtel 299 was among the top gainers yesterday. Aurobindo Pharma is up around 2 rupees this morning. Infosys is up closer to 1,000 rupees, or it has crossed the 1,000 rupee mark. Yes Bank is up 4 rupees, 1,131. Wipro is at about 468, 0.7% higher. Maruti is up around 0.68. Asian Paints is down about 0.25%. Cipla 566 has been very volatile in the last few days. Tata Power up around 0.25% and NTPC flat with a very marginal positive bias. Lupin 1,451, 5 rupees higher. GAIL flat with a very marginal positive bias. TCS is up around 10 rupees. HCL Tech is up around 0.5% rather. BPCL crude was up slightly yesterday. Maybe that's why it's looking slightly on the weaker side. L&T is down about 0.1. HDFC Bank is up around 0.18%. HDFC Limited is also up 0.5%. Grasim is up 0.5%. Ultratech is down 2 rupees. HUL is about 0.35 paisa lower. As far as Nifty is concerned, slight bit of gains from where we started. So we started about 14 points higher, 15 points higher, and now we are at about 20 points on the higher side, but still early days. Hindalco is up 0.9%. SPI is blinking into red and green. Bosch is up 1%, but very low volume, just 270 shares. ITC was the top gainer yesterday. It's up about 0.25 rupee right now, but look at the volumes. I think it can be another big volume day for ITC. Tata Motors, earlier when we saw it was up around close to 1%. Now it's down about 0.4. Sun Pharma 622. ONGC flat with a negative bias. Tata Steel also started into the green, but now is slipping into the red. Adani Ports up around 1 rupee or so. Reliance is up 0.25%. Bharat Financial on your screen up about 3.5-4%, 537. It's had a move on the downside continuously. Yesterday gave probably a breakout, and now you're seeing this sort of a move coming in. Saxoft is up another 15%. 10:45 is when you will hear the management of Saxoft. We'll be talking to them. It was up 20% yesterday, so 35% in the last 2 days. State Trading Corporation, it was up 10% if I'm not wrong yesterday. It was up 10% at about 189, and then another 9.5% move today. Godfrey Phillip 20% up yesterday, followed by another 5.5, 68,000 shares traded. Very, very strong move coming in for Godfrey Phillip. Some of these tobacco companies companies really did well yesterday, especially the second tier one. ITC was also up 3.5%, but names like Godfrey, names like VST did very well. Saturn Credit Care 323, 13,000 shares traded, so not much in terms of volumes. Canfin Homes in the last 10 days has seen correction, so maybe that bounce back, but again, just look at the volumes, it's only 3,000. Ujjivan Finance, when we checked yesterday in opening, it was 290, so right now it's about 304, so in 2 days it's done pretty well even from open. Bharat Financial has added on to gains, so 3.8% higher, 540 rupees for Bharat Financial, close to about almost a million shares traded for Bharat Financial. Anisha, any other names that you can pick up?
Well, Pankaj, on volumes, we've seen Sunil High-Tech up 5%. Of course, it's got that order, but this is a stock that is seeing nearly 1.5 million shares being traded. So it's moved up on strong volumes. You mentioned Bharat Financial inclusion, so that's another gainer. Then again, State Trading Corporation of India up 10% again. So if I look at the weekly return for STC, it's 76% now. So that's the kind of gains we're talking about for this stock. We have Electro Steels up 8%. There is buzz that the STR process that this company has been in is going to be completed. This is going to be the first STR that is going to be successfully done in our country, and we are looking at new promoters coming in, and it could be Mr. Ajay Piramal's venture capital arm that could be looking at buying stake. So this is a stock doing well. We have Jain Education is up, Alok Industries is higher, JSPL is higher. So these are the stocks that are buzzing today. On the losing end, we have IDFC Bank seeing a little bit of profit taking, but largely the list of gainers is much longer than the stocks that are losing ground today. Siddharth, have you had a look at some of the tobacco related stocks? ITC saw a big candle. It was up 3%. Of course, it's at levels where it's previously found support. It closed around the same levels a year ago. We saw Golden Tobacco, big jump in volumes, Godfrey Phillips, all of these tobacco related names saw a big up move. What do you make of that? Do you like any of these stocks, Siddharth?
No, we don't cover any of the tobacco-related stocks altogether. But what we have generally seen in terms of pattern is concerned that before the budget, always the tobacco stock comes in pressure because of maybe raising the excise duties, some kind of a pressure or some kind of a indirect taxation building up on the stock, which is anticipated in the market that may prove to be shortened in terms of elasticity of demand is concerned. But however, having said that, what we have seen in the previous history that the demand is not dying down. I think maybe volume growth is not spurting up on a YOY basis, but I think volume growth is keeping its pace going. So in terms of ITC precisely, ITC is trying their best to get into to get the revenue contribution from different segments, and the other segments like of FMCG or hotel, especially FMCG is doing good, and they are getting volume growth in that. So I would say diversification also would be one of the space. Since we don't cover any of the tobacco stocks, so would not give any kind of a rating in any of the stocks.
All right. So, maybe ahead of the budget, we're seeing some moves coming through. Jay, have you had a look at Sunil High-Tech? This is a stock that buzzes a lot in today. It's up 5% on strong volumes. Any levels you're watching out for?
Absolutely, Sunil High-Tech, post his split and bonus, we had seen a good move coming in this stock, right from the levels of 8.27 until the levels of say 16.8, which almost got double from the lower levels. I think that was quite an impulse move. That was a clear straight move, and I think now the whatever correction which we have seen post that, after the once the market participants received the bonus shares and all, it retraced almost 61% of his entire move from 8 to 16, and it has reversed now from those levels. So I think now on the lower side till is not breaking the levels of 11. There's quite a high probability that again it moves towards the levels of 16 initially, and once it surpasses the levels of 16.80, then the next level which can be watched out for is 20.55. So I think yes, it's a buy, but the stop loss should be very strict. It should be below 11 rupees.
All right. Manas, what do you make of the move in Hindalco? You know, it saw a low for 147 a day earlier. Levels 147, 150 where it's previously found support. Do you think it is making a bottom? Can it head back to 200 rupee levels?
See, stock was making higher tops and higher bottoms from the level of 90 rupees, and I think few weeks back stock made a high of 180. Now we have witnessed some correction in last 2 to 3 weeks time. Stock has broken its 50-day moving average, which is a sign of concern. I think on any upside near to 162, 165, one should exit from the long position in Hindalco. Yes, if you're a long-term investor, then definitely you can hold it. But if you're a trader for say around about 2 months time, then I think on any bounce back you should exit from the long positions.
Jay, Bharat Financial, what is your call? Manas has given a target of 565 this morning. It's already at 545.
Well, so overall, Pankaj, the fall which we have seen on Bharat Financial, right from the levels of 930 till the lows of say 465 has been clearly a three-wave declining structure, within which we have seen a 535 wave structure, which completes the initial zigzag on the lower side. So definitely that means that the way the stock has reversed and it has moved below its moving averages on the medium term, it clearly indicates that the medium term trend has reversed, Pankaj. But then once the zigzag is over, we see generally the stock retracing at least 23% to 38% on the upside, and the 23% comes to 577 should be the initial target. Above 577, this stock can also test its short-term moving averages, and above 577, Pankaj, it can just move to the levels of 640 as well. So yes, it's a buy for the short term for these levels of 577 and 640 approximately. But then if it moves below 465, Pankaj, then I would fear that it would again start its downtrend. So it's a short-term buy, but not a medium-term play.
Right, but the volumes today are very, very strong. Even yesterday, volumes were high. In fact, in the last 8-10 days, volumes have been very, very good. Look at the volumes right now. This 10-day average includes the last 10-day numbers. The time when we saw the fall, the yesterday's big move, which is just about 3.5 lakh shares. And today, 20 lakh shares first up. It's not even 10 minutes of trading session, and we've seen 20 lakh shares in terms of volume. Mr. Sharma, any view on Bharat Financial, especially after the recent fall?
See, I can only speak on technicals at this point of time. I think the fact that people who have already been invested, large institutions, they found it attractive enough to buy. So the public is just following that. I think it could be a technical bounce, and after that, I think the price should again be headed lower. My sense is in the coming few months, the corporate results, which are going to come, may not be as good as has been discounted in the markets. They might be worse.
Siddharth, any view on overall NBFC sector? Not only Bharat Financial, but some of the other rural-linked, non-banking financial companies. Some of them have seen a bounce. Some could probably see later as well.
See, as a whole, NBFC is definitely under the pressure because of many stories going around in the market that the collection in terms of especially MFIN would be very poor. NBFC is not getting the kind of business and dispersals in terms of post-demonetization is concerned. But I would say in the other sense that NBFC looks quite attractive with a medium to long-term perspective, because I think once the business comes to normal and as and when things of demonetization and currency swap comes to a stability, I think these companies only will fabulously do well. Just to state an example, companies like LIC Housing Finance, which is into mid to low tier segment in terms of housing finance is concerned, I think they are not giving the finances to some investors or something of that sort. They are giving to the actual users. I think that will not end up. That will still flow in, and in fact, this kind of a formal loan process would be much more important and much more usable now onwards. So in terms of NBFCs, our top picks would be Bajaj Finserv, which we like, LIC Housing Finance, which we like. Equitas is also one of the stock which is in MFIN and small banking license also they've got. These three stocks which we are quite optimistic for medium to long term perspective.
Jay, any view on names like Tata Motors, Tata Steel? They generally are very high beta names, but in the last few days they have not seen any major movement.
Well, see, Pankaj, first I'll come to Tata Steel. As far as all the metals are concerned, Pankaj, the kind of sell-off which we have seen recently clearly indicates that the trend has shifted from up to down, and not only for the short term. I think, Pankaj, that's for the medium term now. We had seen all of these metal stocks, in fact, recovering from these Feb-March lows. And for almost 7 to 8 months in few of the stocks, and stocks like Vedanta and all had given a 9 to 10 consecutive positive close on the monthly charts. Now this, I believe, with monthly close on Friday, I think most of these stocks are close in the negative territory for the first time after so many months, and that clearly indicates that the first wave on the upside is over. And I've been saying that, Pankaj, I've been sharing that as well on Tata Steel, that it's trading in its wave 5. In its wave 5, this stock has formed a broadening ending diagonal pattern, which clearly indicates that the upside is now capped in Tata Steel. And I'm looking out personally, for the retracement of 38 to 50% of the entire move, which we have seen on Tata Steel, right from 200 levels to say 441. So the minimum levels which I will watch out for would be 348 initially. Below 348 it can also slip to 320 levels. These are the levels, I think, which we may see Tata Steel going forward, and I think at those levels around 320, 340 or between that, wherever it settles and bottoms out, I think that would be a right point to enter again for the medium term. But for the short term, I think recently we have seen some sharp selling, so there can be some bounce along with the index, but that bounce should not be utilized as an investing from the point of view of investing, or from the point of view of medium term long trade. I don't think so. So I think those who are stuck at the high levels will find an opportunity to exit at high levels as well, because 340 to 320 is the level to watch out for on Tata Steel on the lower side. As far as Tata Motors is concerned now, Pankaj, I think this stock too seems to have completed clearly the 5-wave series or 5-wave rising structure on the upside has fallen quite a lot, so we can see some bounce back coming in this stock till the levels of say 502 or so. At those levels, I think those who are stuck at higher levels should exit. One can initiate fresh shots as well at levels of 502, placing the stop loss above 521 levels or so. But 502, it can bounce till those levels, yes. So for short term, both of these stocks look positive. For the medium term, I think it's a sell on rise.
Mr. Sharma, we spoke about Bharat Financial. Two other names that are doing well today are REC, PFC. Again, they have seen some correction. You like Power Grid. They also lend to the similar sector. Do you like these names?
Between the PSUs, I like among the power sector, I like the Power Grid the most, because it already does its work perfectly well and achieves the parameters which the government has set out for itself, and even gets bonus for this. While it's not so much sure about these two power companies, they are at best good dividend yields. So we are more gung-ho, and especially for a risk-averse investor, I think Power Grid is a better pick than the other two, because there is certainty of business, and their business is essentially transmitting power where they have a near monopoly.
Anything in pharma that you like? Recently, we've seen correction on DVs. There is some negative news flow on Cadila this morning. Aurobindo has corrected. Sun Pharma has not performed. Any names that you like over there?
I think what we have seen is that in the pharma sector, these clashes with the US FDA will continue, and therefore this sector, pharma sector, we like. If you were to look at those companies, we have a report on I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall the earnings of that company, so I'll not say it. But within the pharma space, what I need to say is that you have to look at each individual company primarily on its own basis. You can't invest as a sector. However, for among the large caps, where you have seen Sun Pharma, which has taken bore the brunt of the US FDA negativeness. So this stock, I think, should it fall another 5%, it becomes eligible for a buy from the current price. But it needs to be bought at lower levels. A good management should ensure that over the next few years, it should smoothen out the whatever points it has with the US FDA to clear.
All right, Manas, do you have a view on private sector banks like ICICI, Axis and Yes Bank? Axis has fallen quite a bit, and ICICI seems to be close to its supports at 245. What would you do with these three stocks?
See, I'm still very much cautious on private banking. Most of the stocks, Yes Bank, Axis Bank, and even ICICI Bank are looking weak on the chart. I'm still bearish on Yes Bank, so I would like to go short on Yes Bank at current levels. I think stock has a lot of resistance in the range of 1150, 1160. So one can keep the stop loss above 1160. I think stock can go down and test 1080 soon.
All right, so not positive on any of these bank stock. Is it different for some of the PSU bank stocks? They've been falling in this most recent fall. SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda?
Definitely you can take a long call in some of PSU banking, especially in SBI for long term, not for short term trading. Even if you want to trade, then you can take a call on Bank of Baroda. I think if it breaks 151, 152, you can take a long call in Bank of Baroda for short term. Keep the stop loss below 145, and you can see some reaction, and stock can again test 160. But private banking stocks are still looking weak on the charts.
Right. Siddharth, do you have a view on any of these sugar stocks? Sri Renuka Sugars, Balrampur, or Bajaj Hindustan? They start buzzing for some time and then they suddenly fall off the map. Is there any case for any investments in this? Because we're just starting a new sugar season, and the expectation is that this year will be decent. Any picks there?
No precise pick in the sugar space, but I think sugar space is the biggest example for the reforms which government has taken place amongst the other sectors. Sugar has really seen a turnaround, and amongst this, a lot many companies, maybe the two important belts are UP and Maharashtra. But I think UP companies have done fabulously well across. I think amongst the space, historically speaking, and the kind of efficiency levels it has, and currently the crushing season is about to end. So looking at those parts, I think Balrampur seems to be the best because they are reducing their debts quite aggressively, and as and when debts are reducing and the kind of realizations they are getting, improved realizations in the market, I think Balrampur historical looking seems to be the cut above the rest. Apart from that, sugar space can be a decent performer in calendar year 2017. Having said that, I would say if any investor wants to bet, I think Balrampur would be the play.
Mrs. Sharma, do you have a view on any of the tire stocks? Apollo Tyres, CEAT, MRF? They've also come off quite a bit. Some of the expectations from auto companies is that once cash is in the hands of people, at least for four-wheelers, things should be back to normal soon. What do you do with tire companies like CEAT, Apollo and MRF?
I think our own sense is that tire companies have further room to go on the lower side, and probably buying this may be ahead of the bad news which might come in terms of their own numbers. As I said earlier, people might have booked sales, but the transportation is not up. So diesel sales are down. So how do we expect tire companies to sell more tires? Obviously, we do not expect. So although we have buys on several stocks, I'll not buy it in a hurry. I'll still feel that I'll be a reluctant buyer at this point of time and wait for another 10% dip from here in these stocks, because they may have further lower levels to see and chart before buying really commences.
All right, so Mr. Sharma cautious on tire stocks. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on NDTV Profit today. Ajay, as you go, can you please give us your disclosures?
Sure. Anisha, those stocks which we have discussed today and which I have recommended, few of those stocks I have recommended to our clients as well, but I do not hold any stocks in my personal portfolio.
Manas, your disclosures?
No personal holding in these stocks, but we have recommended these stocks to our clients.
Mr. Sharma, any disclosures for you?
Yeah, the two stocks which I categorically said a buy are Power Grid and Oil, on which we have a positive report for a buy report. But personally, these two stocks are not in my portfolio.
Siddharth, your disclosures?
No personal holding of the stocks which I have discussed today, but my clients and my organization must be holding. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on NDTV Profit.